From Cuba, a prayer for Fidel Castro as a group of churchgoers lit candles to pay tribute to the only leader most of them have ever known. A much different scene, though, here in South Florida, as once again, Cuban Americans and exiles take to the streets to celebrate the hope for a better future for the people of Cuba.
Local 10's Carlos Suarez live now in Little Havana tonight. Carlos.
Victor and Lori, a second day of celebration has spilled onto the streets of Southwest 8th Street, just outside of the famed Versailles restaurant. In fact, Miami police had to close the road down because people started coming out here earlier this afternoon. Now, this isn't quite the largest group that we've seen the past 2 days, but while the Cuban flags and the signs of hope of a Cuba Libre are waving proudly, they are being given way to word of a massive rally, the likes organizers say South Florida may have never seen. Cuban exiles gathered at the Bay of Pigs Museum, some clutching the photos of loved ones back home and those who never lived to see the day Fidel Castro died. The message this Sunday was clear.
We are proud of how our community, particularly our youth, has mobilized in the past few days to demand freedom for Cuba upon the death of the tyrant.
Among the group were people with ties to the ladies in white and Cuban dissidents who called for unity on Wednesday when a rally takes place at the memorial honoring Bay of Pigs veterans in Little Havana.
Esto va a ser el fin del comunismo.
It's not the immediate end of communism, but it is the end of an era, said one of the ladies in white. Fidel's death has brought about renewed hope of meaningful change on the island, as has the election of Donald Trump. The president-elect called Fidel Castro a brutal dictator.
I want to take the opportunity to thank President-elect Donald J. Trump for the truthful and morally correct words of encouragement for the Cuban people that he issued upon the death of the tyrant.
Across town, the sentiment remained the same. Hundreds gathered outside Versailles restaurant on 8th Street for a second day of celebration. Sky 10 HD was overhead in the moments before the crowd spilled out into the street, forcing Miami police to close the street for another day.
He's dead. He's dead.
All right, and so that rally is set to take place this upcoming Wednesday, November 30th at 5 o'clock. The gathering will begin at the Bay of Pigs Memorial, which is located on Southwest 8th Street and 13th Avenue. Coming back out live, it is unclear whether that rally will make its way along 8th Street here to Versailles, which is on the corner of 37th Avenue. Again, police have decided to close this stretch of the road because of the gathering that's taken place outside of the restaurant. An officer that I talked to a few minutes ago just told me that they do not plan on reopening it at least any time right now. We'll have much more coming up at 5:30 and then at 6 o'clock. But for now, we are live in Little Havana. I'm Carlos Suarez, Local 10 News.